What's up, guys? I'm Joe Drake for OK Magazine, and I am here with the fabulous Margaret Josephs. How are you, Margaret?
Good, Joe. How are you?
Let me tell you, I feel like the word fabulous gets thrown around a lot, especially with my people, but there is no better word to describe you than fabulous.
Oh, thank you. I love it. I throw the word fabulous around a lot also.
You know,
But I appreciate that.
let's dive in because there's a few things we need to cover
Yes.
ahead of the finale, which I'm sure you just love talking about. But let's talk about what is going on between you and Miss Teresa Giudice.
Yes. A lot.
Let's start with what happened in Nashville at the table. Were you completely shocked at her response and how she reacted after you called her a liar?
Yes. You know what? I shouldn't be shocked, but I was shocked because I thought we were over that behavior. After the ponytail pull, we agreed there's not going to be any more physicality within our group. We don't want to behave like that anymore. I would not think that she would do that, but she's not very good with her words. And when she gets frustrated and doesn't have a response, she acts out like a toddler, but I really thought she was over that. So I was shocked that she did that. And she didn't do it once because obviously she felt like she didn't clear the table good enough. So I watched it back and I was like, wow, she did it twice.
Totally. Well, let me ask you this. Did you get the dress dry cleaned? Because I felt that.
It's ruined. It was ruined. Red wine stains, totally ruined.
Well, and to your point about the ponytail pull, I thought that you and Teresa were in a good spot after that happened with Danielle. And that, you know, like you said, you weren't going to go back to that behavior, which sort of made the incident in Nashville that much more dramatic.
I agree. And she thinks that being a good friend is just agreeing with everything she says, not asking her any questions, pretending everything's okay, blowing smoke.
Right.
I'm that person. To me, being a good friend is being brutally honest, being concerned about your friend, even when they don't care about themselves. And whatever it is, I'm not going to pretend everything's okay when it's not. And I don't think asking questions is being negative.
No.
And, you know, and when someone's like lying to your face, and she was caught in numerous mistruths, as I'd like to say, during the season, and when you confront her on them, she gets upset with you.
Right.
I just find that distasteful. And you know what? It makes her look in a poor light. And I always say to her, I don't want you to look bad. And I've said that to her numerous times. And when I was trying to bring stuff out about Louis, I was like, we could flip this and he can explain himself and it'll go away.
Right.
But she didn't want any part of that.
Well, you mentioned the fact that she doesn't like people asking questions. I think Joe and Melissa Gorga mentioned that in this past week's episode. And, you know, you said you didn't want to dance around her, which I don't think you should have. This week on Watch What Happens Live, in fact, Melissa said that you are more loyal to her than Teresa. How do you respond?
Well, it's true. I mean, it is true. Melissa knows I'm a very good friend. Since I've met her, we're very close. I think we give each other great advice. She knows that I've proven myself to be very good to her, and she knows where I am. And she always says to me, "You're brutally honest with me. If there's something that happens that I don't like, I'll call her. I'll say, what is going on? What are you doing?" And she knows I'm going to say it like the way it is. Even when we sat at that table, and she said to me something about the apology, the way Teresa said, "Don't even start with me." You know, I said to her, I was a little nippy, you know, I was a little hard on her. I was like, don't even. She knows I'm going to say the truth.
Well, let's talk about that apology, because to be honest with you, as I was watching it play out, I was surprised that Teresa even apologized to the group. I knew she wasn't necessarily going to zero in on you, which I don't think she did. But what are your thoughts watching that apology back on TV? Still,
it was disgraceful. That's not an apology. What she was doing was making an excuse. She was trying to say to the group that exactly what she did. She was provoked. That's not an apology. You know, that's making an excuse for your behavior. She was just, you know, trying to show the group that it was deserved and, you know, that I asked for it. That it's not an apology. And then she backs it up with body shaming me. I think it was actually more disgraceful hearing it back.
Well, that was going to be my next question, the perfect segue. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, they're not happy. You know, it's 2022. The fact that one woman is making some body shaming comments about another, people are not having it. How do you want to respond to what Teresa said?
I think it's very upsetting because she's not done it once this season. She's done it twice.
Right. The baseball game and then
once the baseball game and then here. Listen, if that's the problem with Teresa is she tries to get the low-hanging fruit. I don't understand. It's not acceptable. And it's not a positive message to women at all. And young women are watching this as well. And I don't know why she would be proud of saying something like that. But it's upsetting. And I don't understand what in her right mind, why she would even do something like that. What upsets me more is like, she doesn't even see anything wrong with it.
no,
She thinks
not at
that's
all.
okay. And she dials into thinking that kind of behavior is okay, but she sets women back. I think her whole, and that's what is upsetting, but no one tells her besides me. You know, they might tell her after that's wrong. Like Melissa told her, Melissa said to her, you know, you can't do that. And Jackie had said something at the table that night, but someone's got to get into her head. Like, that's not the way you behave. And a good friend would tell her that. It doesn't look, it reflects poorly on her. And me being a good friend to her, I'd be like, that reflects poorly on you. Do you want to look bad? Because that's what's happening.
Right. Well, clearly people can't get into her head. Do you think that about the body shaming, do you think that she's a little bit jealous about how amazing you look? Because I got to tell you, I was talking to my roommate every time we watch the show. I go, has Margaret Josephs ever looked better?
Oh, you are so sweet. Thank you. I don't think she's jealous. I don't think, you know, I don't like to say anybody's jealous of anyone. I think we all happen to look great on this show and everybody's the best version of themselves or tries to be the best version of themselves. But I think it's, listen, she knows I like to eat and I'm not ashamed of it. She knows I'm very confident and she thinks it's going to rattle me. I don't get rattled if someone says that I don't look good. I think she knows it's very hard to rattle me.
Right.
That's what it is also.
It's extra laughable because you look so good.
Oh, you are so sweet. I think, you know, thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. And listen, I've obviously had work done. I haven't had work done on my bike except a boob reduction. But it's unfortunate. If I was not as strong and confident, imagine that happened to someone else. It could have really, really hurt someone. And it's on a season when we're talking about eating disorders and she didn't realize that, but also, you know, that we struggle with things like that. It just wasn't it's unfortunate. I don't know. I don't do things like that. And people always say, well, you said Jennifer's lip liner. Lip liner is something that's removable that you take off. It's cosmetics, you know?
Right.
And it's not a good look. That's all I have to say.